Black man.
Black man.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Receive this word, white man.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. You celebrate Christmas, don't you, brother? Yes, you do. And it's a white holiday.
White holiday.
Black power.
Black is power.
Black power.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Black is power.
Black is power. Oh, man. Brother, can I speak to you, please, man? Lost another one. Do you feel as if this is right? Boys, you need to come join us, bro.
That's right.
You need to come join us.
That's right.
That's right.
We are not equal.
We are
That's
not.
right.
Our ancestors did not live for this.
That's right.
Poison. 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 Poison.
You will not stop our brothers or sisters from the Constitution. That's right. That's right.
I'd rather be in the cell than to be in hell. That's right. Free man. Free man. Free man. Free man. Free man. Free man.
That's right. John and Lorinda, chapter 16. That's right. A white man will beneath emancipated souls. That's right. That's right.
How can I help you, sir?
I do not need help. I will assist myself. What form of payment for this, please?
Whatever is easy for you.
Is it because my skin is black?
We out here bringing our people back to the law, statutes, and commandments, man. We do not follow rules made by white men. We do not follow rules made by white men. You are not a sister, and you will not proceed to be a sister.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
That's right.
Bow down.
That's right.
Bow down.
That's right.
Bow down.
That's right. That's right. Who is your master? Who is your master?
What y'all doing after that? Is that the party or something? What's your name?
Marley.
Oh, shit.
Right? You thinking hell?
Nah, that's dope.
Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Welcome back to On the Shoulders of Giants. I am Joseph Ward, and I'm here to have a great discussion with you all tonight. I want to take y'all on the journey with me to learn, because I'm here to learn. So you see I'm starting with the Drewski skit, because Drewski has been making a lot of noise out in the world, in the entertainment world. And he's been ruffling a lot of feathers, but also starting a lot of conversations. Some of my YouTube search involves theological debates. I watch them time to time, not all the time, but time to time. I watch these theological debates, and I have watched a number of debates about our topic tonight: are Black people the true Hebrew Israelites? I've even sat in circles with people and tried to learn maybe once or twice years ago. So it's been a while. So I've refreshed myself. Well, I did a little bit of refresher, but I want to do a lot more with you all. Like I said, I wanted to explore this topic with you all. What's going on, Terrell? How you doing, my brother? Happy Tuesday. Thank you for being here. Like I said, I didn't just want to do this by myself. It's going to be kind of boring doing it by myself. So I want to explore it with you all. Are Black people the true Hebrew Israelites? Is it just belief? Is there actual proof? Is there concrete proof? Is there genetic proof? Is there DNA proof? Like, what type of evidence do we have to prove that Black people, especially Black Americans, that we are the true Hebrew Israelites? Also, if we are the true Hebrew Israelites, what does that mean? Now, what do we do with that new information and that new understanding? What do we do with it? Does that actually change our situation? Does it change our future? Does it change our trajectory? Or does it just change our identity? Because a lot of people will argue that, once you know your past, it'll help you know your future. But what does that mean? Because my problem with that is, let me say this first. Once you know your past, you'll know where you're going. That's just not something that's exclusive to Hebrew Israelites. That's exclusive to a lot of Black people. But my question is now, what does that mean, really? And how does that help us today? Because I'm a historian. I know a lot about our past, but how do we actually apply that information to help us have a brighter future? Robert, what's going on? No people in history were called Hebrew or Israelite. Hey, see, we getting into it. See, we getting into it tonight, Robert. We getting into it. You know, I actually, the conversation that we're going to, our main conversation we're going to look at is a conversation between 3 people who identify as Hebrew Israelites and Jesse Lee Peterson. I appreciate y'all being here tonight. I really appreciate y'all. This channel ain't nothing without y'all. All right, I appreciate that. So at first, I was going to look at a debate between Marquette Devon and another brother who identifies as Hebrew Israelite, but I found this Jesse Lee Peterson conversation to be a bit more entertaining, and we need a little entertainment in our education, because I want to have a little fun tonight. I didn't want to be all uptight tonight. I appreciate you, Robert. I didn't want to be all uptight tonight, but I still want to learn. So you see, I don't have my instructor title. So we're gonna have a little fun, but we're also here to learn. I'm here to learn. I'm here to get a better understanding. I grew up in the South in Florida, and of course I grew up in the Christian background, but I went off and studied for my own, and I'm in my own lane with that, and I don't subscribe to any particular path. And I'm not here to tell anybody what path to subscribe to. I'm just here trying to understand better the ideology behind Black people being the Hebrew Israelites. All right. So that's what we're doing tonight. That's what we're doing tonight. No hate, no shade, no anything like that. Not telling nobody what to do, what to do, what not to do. If you agree, if you disagree, cool. But let's just do it respectfully. If you disagree, let's just do it respectfully. All right. So what I did, well, before I do that, before I go deeper, once again, thank you all for being here on this Tuesday night. You could be anywhere, but you're here with me, chilling with me, and I appreciate it. So, I'm going to do my best to make sure we have a good time. So with that being said, please hit that like button if you have not already. Please hit that like button. Jump in these comments. Let's talk. I want to hear your thoughts. I want y'all to help me on my journey, help me in this conversation, help me in my understanding. Please hit that hype button. If you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and take a few seconds and hit that subscribe button and go ahead and join the family. And there are links in the description if you want to support. And remember that super chat is wide open, so please support via that super chat. So one of the things that I did is I wanted to really break it down and understand it as much as possible. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, ChatGPT, explain to me the ideologies, philosophies, beliefs, predictions, prophecies, and everything as much as possible about the Hebrew Israelites, and explain it to me as if I'm a 5-year-old. And so what I'm about to read to you is how ChatGPT broke down the ideologies and everything of Hebrew Israelites to me as a 5-year-old. And after that, I got another video. We'll have a little conversation, then jump to our main one. All right, so it said, imagine this. Imagine your family had a very old photo album, and one day someone loses the album. Hundreds, then thousands of years go by. Now lots of different families, they start saying, I think that photo album belonged to us. Nobody agrees. Some families point to old letters as their proof. Some families point to stories as their proof. Some families point to where their grandparents lived as their proof. Some point to DNA as their proof, and everyone is trying to figure it out. So who really owns the photo album? So this is similar to how the Hebrew Israelites, this is similar to what the Hebrew Israelite discussion is about. The photo album would be the claim to being a Hebrew or a Hebrew Israelite. So it says, who were the Israelites? Imagine there was once a really big family. God chose this family to teach the world about him. The family's father was Abraham. His grandson was Jacob. God later changed Jacob's name to Israel. Jacob had 12 sons. Those 12 sons became the 12 tribes of Israel. And it said, think about it like this. The grandpa was Jacob. Jacob had 12 children, and those 12 children had 12 giant family groups. What happened? The Bible says these people sometimes listened to God and sometimes they didn't. When they obeyed, their lives went well. When they disobeyed, bad things happened. The Bible says God warned them. If you keep doing wrong, your people will lose their land and be scattered around the world. What does scattered mean? Imagine dropping a handful of marbles on the floor. The marbles roll everywhere. Imagine instead of living together now live in lots of different places. Hebrew Israelites believe this is exactly what happened. They were scattered all over the world. What do Hebrew Israelites believe? Many Hebrew Israelites say those scattered Israelites are us. They believe Black Americans, West Africans, some Caribbean people, some Native Americans, and some Hispanic people are descendants of those ancient Israelites. Not every Hebrew Israelite group believes exactly the same thing, but this is one of the central ideas in many of them. Why do they believe that? Imagine your grandmother left you clues. She said, my family will one day ride on ships, be slaves, lose their language, lose their name, be hated, be scattered everywhere. Now imagine one family says, that sounds exactly like what happened to our ancestors during the Atlantic slave trade. This is why Hebrew Israelites often read Deuteronomy 28 and say, this is talking about us. And we're going to read Deuteronomy 28. That word ate me up the first time. So it says, what about other Christians? Many Christians say, wait a minute. They believe Moses was talking about things that happened to ancient Israel long before the Atlantic slave trade. So they read the exact same Bible, but they understand it differently. What about Jewish people? Most Jewish people today believe they are descendants of the ancient Israelites through history, family traditions, and long-standing Jewish communities. Most historians and biblical scholars also conclude that many Jewish populations trace ancestry to ancient Near East, while recognizing that Jewish communities have mixed with local populations over many centuries. So one group says we are Israel, another group says no, we are Israel, and historians say, let me examine the historical, archaeological, textual, and genetic evidence. Why skin color is important? Many Hebrew Israelites believe that Israelites were Black. One verse they often read is Revelation 1, where Jesus has hair like wool, feet like burnt brass. They say that sounds like a Black man. And many biblical scholars respond to that saying, this is symbolic language of an apocalyptic vision and should not be read as a literal physical description. Again, same verse, but different interpretations, right? So another question that came out was, why do they wear robes? Many Hebrew Israelites wear robes, fringes, and head coverings. And because in the Old Testament, God told Israel to wear tassels or fringes on their garments to remind them to obey his commandments. And you can read that in Numbers 15, 37 through 41. Many believe they should still follow these instructions today. Why are some so loud? I thought that was funny that they put this in here. But this is what it says. Why are some so loud? If you ever seen Hebrew Israelites teaching on street corners, they often speak very loudly. Why? Imagine you believe your whole family had forgotten who they were. Wouldn't you want to tell everyone? Many see themselves as watchmen whose job is to call people back to what they believe is God's covenant. Not every Hebrew Israelite teaches this way. However, some worship quietly in congregations and focus on study and religious observance. What do they think will happen? Many Hebrew Israelites, they believe God will gather Israel again. Jesus, whom they usually call Yeshua, or another Hebrew name, depending on the group, will return. Israel will be restored. Evil kingdoms will end. God's kingdom will rule the earth. The righteous will inherit the promises made to Israel. Different groups have different beliefs about who can be saved, how Gentiles fit into God's plan, and what life in God's kingdom will look like. So the entire discussion comes down to one very important question. Who are the descendants of ancient Israel today? People answer that question in different ways. Some say by family ancestry or genealogy. Others say by DNA and historical evidence. Others say by faith in God and Christ. Others say by a combination of ancestry, covenant, history, and faith. And so basically how it ends, it says, imagine a giant family got spread thousands of years ago. And today, many different people are trying to figure out which families belong to that original family by looking at the Bible, history, family stories, and other evidence. Different groups reach different conclusions, and this is why the discussion continues today. And so there is no real I haven't come across any real concrete evidence for any one group to stake claim to being God's chosen people. And I think back to what Dr. John Henry Clark told us, that only a God who is a bigot would have a chosen people. Now, once again, I'm not here to bash or say I believe or disbelieve, but I am here to try to gather a greater understanding. So check out this video, and then we're gonna get back to this discussion. Please hit that like button. Nemesis, what's going on, my brother? How you doing? Gregory, what's going on? It's a question: is there a specific haplogroup DNA strain that is particular to the Hebrew Israelites? That I am not sure. I haven't found that information, to be honest. To be honest, Gregory, I haven't found that information in my research. Maybe somebody else have, but I haven't, so I don't really know. It says the archaeological evidence suggests Canaanite, no Israelite. When the hell did our African ancestors ever wear fringes? Hey man, hey, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. So check this out.
So let get
Hold on.
Who are the Israelites?
okay. So let get
How do
James
we
1 and 1.
identify them?
I'm going to show you how. This is how we identify them. Get James 1 and 1. So when you look at the 12 tribes of Israel, even remember James was writing after Jesus Christ died, right? James, the book of James, and the message never changed. In the New Testament, I start here because I want you to see that not only is Paul's and Peter's audience the Jews, which were the southern kingdom, also it was the northern tribes that were scattered. James 1 and 1.
James chapter 1 and verse 1.
See, I don't even have it. Give me a sec, brother. Okay. James chapter, here's the answer to your question. Read.
Okay.
James chapter 1 and verse 1. James, a servant of God
James was a servant of God. Read.
and of the Lord Jesus Christ,
Uh-huh.
to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting.
James was a follower of Christ. His audience were the 12 tribes that were scattered throughout all Pontia, throughout Galatia, all these places. That's who Paul's audience was. The message has never changed. It was always for the 12 tribes of Israel.
So RBG Tech, what's going on? So you asked a good question, and that's something I asked in the beginning. So let's say this information is true. Let's say Black Americans, Black people, we are the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, now what? Now what do we do with that information? What do we do with that revelation? Great question. Is it constructive? Is this a constructive thing for us to engage in as a group of people, or are we wasting our time? Because I do believe in making sure that we are spending our time on things that can actually get us to where we need to go. So you know how we do. Holla at your girl. What's going on? How you doing? How you doing? Now you ain't missed nothing. Hold on. Say, I really don't care less about any of this in the slightest. Show me the infrastructure. Show me the ability to take care of yourself, defend yourself, and everything else linked to the nation. Well, you know, that's why I'm always glad you're here, brother, to explore with us. Holla at your girl with the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. As always, thank you for being here. Hey, friend, what's going
Look at
on?
all this money, homie. I got all this money, homie.
Nah, you ain't missed anything, and I'm glad you in here. You right on time, because we ain't even get to the main feature yet. We didn't get to the main feature. So, like I said, I was going to look at another video for our main feature, but I thought that the Jesse Lee Peterson video would be a lot more entertaining, because I want to have a little fun tonight, but get some learning in. Hey, well, yeah, I hear you, Terrell. You say you can't use a fictional book to prove anything. No, I hear you, because, well, you got to remember, we are dealing with a lot of belief. We're dealing with a lot of what people believe, a lot of interpretations of how people interpret the words of the Bible. As I was reading earlier, it depends on what you believe. Even in the video that we're going to look at with Jesse Lee Peterson, you're going to hear them talking about when they were Christians, because they still read the same book. They still read the King James Bible. So when they were Christians, they read the Bible one way, but now they're Hebrew Israelites, they're reading it another way, even though it's the same information, the same words. Renee, what's going on? What's going on? You know it ain't a party if you ain't here, Renee. What's going on? How you doing? How you doing? So, who are the Hebrew Israelites, right? Not all Hebrew Israelite groups believe the same as that thing. Many believe Black Americans descend from ancient Israel. The transatlantic slave trade fulfilled biblical prophecy. Modern Jews are not the primary descendants of biblical Israel. Many identify Black Americans as the tribe of Judah. Some groups include Hispanics and Native Americans among the 12 tribes. Most rely heavily on the King James Bible, as I stated earlier. Other Hebrew Israelite communities are much less confrontational, simply observe biblical laws while identifying as descendants of Israel. The movement is diverse rather than a single organization, and I've learned that there are many different factions within that. It says it depends on power. If 6 people have 6 positions, which one holds sway? Come on, bro. Had the same message in the Independence Day Project. It's hey. Well, that's why I'm glad once again, my brother. That's why I'm glad you're here. You know, I never go against you when you're telling the truth, you know. So their main biblical argument is Deuteronomy 28. So let me look up Deuteronomy 28. And it says especially verses 15 through 68. That's a lot. But we're going to bust out Deuteronomy 28. We're going to get into it. All right. But no, let me do the King James Version. All right, it says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed thou shalt be in the city, and blessed thou shalt be in the field. Blessed thou shalt be the fruit of the body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of the cattle, and increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be the basket and thy store. Blessed shall be thou when thou comest in. Blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou shalt settest thine hand unto, and shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. The Lord shall establish thee a holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, that if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his ways. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, and in the fruit of the body, and in the fruit of the cattle, and in the fruit of the ground, and in the land which the Lord shall share unto thy fathers and give thee. The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and bless all the work of thine hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. Let me go to 15. Okay. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And this is what they're saying. They believe it are the prophecies of black people. Cursed shall be in the city, and cursed shall be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be thy fruit of the body, and the fruit of thy land, and increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shall thou be when it cometh in, and cursed shall be when thou goeth out. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all that thou setteth thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doing, thereby thou hast forsaken me. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land whither thou goest to possesses it. The Lord shall smite thee with consumption, and with fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and the blasting, and the mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. And thy heaven is the cover thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thy feet shall be iron. The Lord shall make the rain of the land powder and dust, and from heaven it shall come down upon thee and be destroyed. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies, and thou go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed into the kingdoms of earth. And it says it goes into, this is a long ass passage, and I ain't finna read all this shit. But these old English words, boy. But anyway, but this is the prophecies and stuff that they're saying that the curses and all these things, it pertains to black people, to black Americans, to black people throughout the diaspora. And I'm not sure what physical evidence they have, but I know that this is the crux of what they believe. All right, so let me go ahead and get this video going. This is 3 Hebrew Israelites having a conversation with Jesse Lee Peterson, and it's entertaining, yet it lends to the conversation though. So let's get into it.
The LA area, and you have to love the Fallen State. Click right here to apply.
The Fallen State is amazing. Subscribe now.
Restless, I am so restless, and this changing world leaves me speechless. I am lost for words, but I kept my
Well, them thems and these and thines and smitten this, kick my ass.
Welcome to the Fallen State. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Today I'm speaking with a Hebrew Israelite group. I have with me Malak, right?
Shalom, shalom, brother. How you doing? How you doing?
Good. Thank you for
Honored
coming.
to be here.
And this is your wife, Yanni. Is that right?
Yes.
Yanni, thank you for coming as well.
Thank you for having us.
We played the horn. You played the horn just before we were started. What was that about?
Well, the shofar is a part of the culture of the Hebrew Israelites. Now, it's a real good history lesson when it comes to the shofar, because the shofar actually comes out of West Africa, right? And a lot of people think that it's a Jewish thing, but the shofar actually comes from what's the name of that?
Kudu ram.
Yeah, kudu ram. A kudu ram, and the kudu rams come from West Africa. So when you blow the shofar, they blew the ram's horn to knock down the walls of Jericho. So when you blow the shofar, you can blow the shofar for healing. You can blow the shofar for victory. You can blow the shofar for going to war. So there's many different reasons why we blow the shofar.
So are you considered like the preacher or?
Yes, I'm a moray of one of the groups of the Hebrew Israelites.
Which means preacher or pastor?
Preacher or teacher.
Okay. And I was telling you earlier that I was up in Las Vegas doing a debate with one of the Israelite groups. Are you different than they are?
No, we all family, but we're not a part, like everybody have their own little set. So the name of their group is GOCC. We're not a part of GOCC, but we all consider each other family. See, being a Hebrew Israelite is not a religion. It's a birthright. It's a nationality. So you are considered a Hebrew Israelite by blood if you were so-called Negro in America.
So have you always been a Hebrew Israelite? Were you a Christian before that?
Yeah, I actually woke up probably around like 15 years ago. I used to go to church every Sunday, and my testimony is real interesting because I actually heard a voice from the Most High leading me and guiding me, and he took me to Deuteronomy chapter 28.
So Yeah, see, we already dealing with Deuteronomy 28. But okay, Gregory. So I'm looking up DSB. What's going on, my brother? Welcome, my brother. Thank you for being here. Gregory, I'm looking up what you just put in. You said Y-DNA haplogroup E1B1A. And your question was, is there a specific haplogroup that is particular to the Hebrew Israelites? And so I typed in, is there a specific haplogroup that is particular to Hebrew Israelites? It says, short answer, no. There's no Y-DNA or mitochondrial haplogroup that identifies someone as an ancient Israelite or as a biblical Hebrew. Current genetic research does not support the existence of a unique Hebrew Israelite haplogroup. This is just according to what I searched. I'm not saying this is right. This is just according to what I searched, but this is something we can look in further. It says, what was I just read? Okay, so researchers have found that many Jewish communities, including Ashkenazi, Sephardi, and Mizrahi Jews, share several paternal haplogroups that are common to the ancient Near East. The most common include the J1, JM267, J2, JM172, and the E1 and the E1B1, E1B1B, EM35. Those are common enough that they are often discussed in studies of Jewish ancestry, but none of them are uniquely Jewish or uniquely Israelite. They're also found in many non-Jewish populations across the Middle East, North Africa, and surrounding regions. So it says, could Black Americans have one of these haplogroups? It says, yes, it is possible for Black Americans to have the J1, J2, E1, B1B, T, or many other haplogroups. But having one of these haplogroups does not by itself demonstrate descendant from the biblical Israelites, because these lineages are shared by many populations. So, like I said, I'm not saying this is right, but this is something we can explore further. It says, what tangible has this gotten, guys? Hey, look, hey. But you know, when Dr. Clark made a statement about a God that will have a chosen people would be a bigot, but you would think that if the idea is everything that God created is good and all people are God's people, then you know the idea of a chosen people, you know, everybody else like, so what about us? I thought we was good too. You said the European Jews got it through mixing. That was not actually willing. You're right. But you know, once again, this gentleman here is getting into the Deuteronomy 28, and you said he already messed up calling out sets and stuff. But once again, going into the prophecies, saying that these prophecies are what is the evidence, or a lot of people use that as evidence to say this is exactly why we are the so-called Black Hebrew Israelites, or the God's chosen people, or the Jews. But let's continue though.
And he showed me that the Bible is a history book. It's not a religious book. It's not about Baptist, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventists, all these different things. It's actually a history book. And we are actually in the book, and we are the main characters in the book. And so when I found out that I was a Hebrew Israelite, at first I was sad, because what actually happened was the children of Israel went against the Most High, and we got put in a punishment. And this is all a part of Deuteronomy 28 for anybody that's listening. We can go over some scriptures if you like, just quick ones. Is that okay with you?
Well, we'll come back to that. I just want to bring.
Well, also, if you listen to what the brother is saying, once again, like I said in the opening, he's still reading the King James Bible, and so his interpretation of the Bible has changed due to the programming that he has, due to the teachings that he's now under. Same Bible, same information, same scriptures, just different interpretation, different ways of viewing it. Same information. The information didn't change. He did. So, you know, I'm with y'all. You already know I'm with y'all. And so you say the European Jews got it through mixing. Right. I read that. It says, well, it's deeper than that. When you have people being very selective with the Bible, only taking sections to reinforce narratives. And once again, that's what I believe a lot of these, especially these ones that we're looking at, that's what they're doing. saying Europeans took our culture and made it to a religion. Hebrew Israelite groups are also a religion. The actual people are the people. It says, for a white man strikes a slave, if the slave survives a day or two, he is not to be avenged, for the slave is his money. Exodus 20, right. And they took that and said, this is justification for slavery. It's more about lineage. We're a lineage of people. They are practicing their religion, which isn't bad. It's just where they are right now. So for my, like I said, I'm not here to argue, but for my understanding, so is there any concrete proof of the lineage to show that Black Americans or Black people throughout the diaspora are linked back to the historical Jews? That is my question.
Yanni, and so Yanni, you're married to
Malak, yes.
Malak.
Yes.
And were you a Christian prior to meeting
Yes,
him?
I was raised actually in a Baptist church growing up.
Really? And so you became a Israelite,
Absolutely.
Hebrew Israelite. And what's the difference in being a Christian and being an Israelite, Hebrew Israelite?
Well, the difference is being a Christian, those are all man-made religions. So like my husband Malak was saying, that a Hebrew Israelite is our culture, our heritage, our nationality. It's who we are as a people.
Meaning that you are a Jew?
Yes.
You a Jew?
I'm a Jew.
Are you the original Jew?
According to the Bible and the scriptures, yes, we are the original Jews. Yes, we are.
And so, did your life change as a result of becoming a Jew rather than a Christian?
Yes, it did.
In what
Because
way?
in regards to, when I say everything, I changed everything from my diet, the things that I ate before when I was going to church. Although we read out of the same Bible, we weren't following those laws that are written in that Bible. The Most High God gives us specific foods we are to eat. I was eating everything under the sun. When I say lobster, crab, shrimp, those are all abominations.
You don't eat that anymore?
No.
Can I have your portion?
You don't want it either. You don't need it. You don't need it.
Fish and stuff.
Yeah, but all those are.
No, you can eat fish. You just
you
have
can
to
eat
have
fish. Yeah.
scales on it.
Everything that's in the water
I
has to
see.
have scales and fins.
Right. Okay.
Will have to have scales.
And so, how long you been married?
We've been married.
So hey man, you already know this one went a lot better than others, but you know how Jesse gonna be messy ass Jesse. But if you listen to what she just kind of described, is it just me, or did she basically say the difference between her being a Christian and a Hebrew Israelite is she actually just started following what's in the Bible? She chose to actually live according to her faith. Because she said her whole life changed. She started eating right. She started living right. She started going according to what the Bible was saying. Right, but you're reading the same book. It's the same book you're reading. The difference is and I'm gonna say it for this, the religion. The difference is the spiritual path, or as they would say, the inheritance, or the lineage, as they would say. But can you choose to can you convert into a lineage? Because both of them said that they were Christians. The gentleman said he was a Christian, and then God told him to be a Hebrew Israelite, and now he's a Hebrew Israelite. And she said she converted. So they both converted from Christianity to the Hebrew Israelite path. So can you convert into a lineage? Or are they saying that I'm confused. Help me out with that. I'm not sure. Like, because if it's a lineage, that's something that you can't convert into. It's something you always were. So RBG, I don't know about no action, my brother. I don't know about no action. She appears to have internalized things more. That's for sure. That's for sure. So I guess it means she took it from being something that she followed from being told to something she actually wanted to do. Right. So, right. That's what I'm saying. So she actually just really started following the teachings. Like she's, because they're saying that they're reading from the King James Bible. So she actually just applied the stuff. You can convert or revert to or a way of life or a way of teaching. But for a lineage, you either that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, because they said that Hebrew Israelite was a lineage, but they also said that they converted to it. So
For 6 years.
Is he the head of you?
Yes.
He's the head. So you're the head of your wife.
That's correct.
And what does that mean to be the head of your wife?
Be the head of my wife means being a strong leader in my household, being a provider, being a nurturer of the Bible, and spiritually, mentally, and physically through the power of the Most High.
And so the white-skinned people in Israel and other places who say that they are Jews, they are not the Jews?
No, they're not.
And who are they?
They call themselves Ashkenazi, right? So the Bible actually says in Genesis chapter 10 that Ashkenazi is the isles of the Gentiles. So these are converts that came in and took our identity when we went into slavery.
Really?
Yes.
And so you're saying blacks are the original Jews?
Yes.
Are you like totally convinced of that?
I know that for a fact.
And how has it helped you to see yourself as a Jew?
Well, it gave me my identity back, because that's what.
So I looked up Romans 26. So it says, in the very place where it was said to them, you are not my people, they will be called children of the living God. And it says, this verse affirms that God's mercy extends beyond the Jewish people to include the Gentiles, transforming those who were once spiritually alienated into his own children. It highlights God's sovereign right to call anyone to himself. So everybody's God's. So this is basically saying everybody is God's, has God's favor, or can be God's people. Hey, Renee, look at her. So, but is this concrete enough? Is this enough concrete proof where we can plant our flag? You're reading an interpretation from a religion. I read the Bible. You saying the Bible scripture is an interpretation? You saying the Bible? You saying that the scripture is an interpretation? Because I'm confused. But I'm saying, help me out. Like, explain it to me like I'm 5 years old.
What everybody in America is basically experiencing right now is an identity crisis, not knowing who they are. We walking around.
So, okay, so you explain it to me. Explain what the verse means. Because in the very place where it was said to them, you are not my people, there they would be called children of the living God. Isn't that the same thing as the explanation? Isn't that this, or is that something different? Is that saying something different?
With amnesia, because they telling us that we was Africans when we came over here and not telling us where we came from Africa. And actually, I brought this chart right here so you can see. Now, this is a Negro land, right? This is actually the place where our people came from, the west part of Africa, right by Ghana, right? And so if you look deeply into this, you can see Benjamin, you can see Judah, right? You can actually see that the tribes of Israel was in this place, right? So when they was actually selling people, our people, on slave ships, right? You know what they called them?
What?
Hebos or Igbos.
So right, but 25 and 26 is basically saying the same thing. It says, I will call them my people who are not my people, and I will call her my loved one who are not my loved one. Right? 25 and 26 is saying the same thing. The Israelites are my people, and everybody else will have my grace, will have my love. They can be called back into this with me. Okay. So why'd you want me to read it? If it's specifically for the Israelites, how does that pertain to Black Americans? Explain. I'm saying because you're typing statements, but you're not explaining. So how does that pertain to Black Americans? Hey, Nemesis, look here, my brother.
This was from all parts of Africa or just that particular area?
Well, they went to that particular part of Africa and they got most of us from there, but we got scattered to the four corners of the earth. But that was our main place that we was at. They wasn't grabbing regular Africans, they was grabbing the Hebrew Israelites.
And so the blacks who were selling blacks, you had the black kings and higher uppers selling the underclass blacks in Africa. Did they know they were selling Jews?
Yes, they did.
They knew that.
Yes.
So seeing yourself as a Jew, does that make you feel better about yourself?
Well, like I said, when you have your identity back, you can know, when you know where you came from, you can know where you're going. Right. Now,
there go that statement. There's that statement. Okay, child, I hear you, but what evidence do we have to show that all of this information is pertaining specifically to Black Americans? Because all these it's so many, like I read earlier, so many people can make this claim. So many people can say these are things that happened to us. They're talking about us. So what concrete proof does this say that this is Black Americans? And Nemesis, I do agree with your point about the organizational part of it. I'm not mad at the organizational part of it. Or actually, I'm not even mad at none of it. I'm just trying to understand. So, said, would the Europeans openly identify Africans in the Americas? That I don't think so, Gregory. I don't think so. Said, name the people claiming it. What you mean? You mean naming the people claiming to be Hebrew Israelites? I only see Black Americans claiming it, but is that proof?
The Bible is really real powerful because the whole Bible was about the Hebrew Israelites. It's a lot of prophecies that's going to take place. And without you having understanding about who you are in the book, you will have no understanding about what's about to take place in the earth.
When you came to believe, who told you that you were the original Jew? How did you hear about that?
Like I said, it's in the Bible. The Bible is
I know, but somebody had to bring it to your attention.
I told you that the God himself, the Most High himself, called me out of my disobedience and led me into the scriptures and showed me that.
I also asked for evidence and you haven't provided any evidence. You're just saying statements. Can you please provide me some evidence? Because even like the brother right here is saying that that the Most High God told him to convert to all this. I'm not questioning anybody's path to conversion or anything like this, but once again, just going down the path, like the question, like you see the title, can we prove Black Americans are the true Hebrew Israelites? I'm not telling anybody to believe or to not believe. I'm just saying, do we have proof of it? And once again, if we do have proof, and let's say we are the true Hebrew Israelites, okay, what do we do with that information now? Because the brother said, okay, if you know who you are, if you know where you've been, you know where you're going. So what does that actually mean? And how do we apply that to ourselves right here, right now, as Black people in America to help better our situation?
I was a Hebrew Israelite, and this is happening all over the world. This ain't just happening with me.
The reason I asked, because I've interviewed other Hebrew Israelites, the ones in Vegas, but there's another group here in LA, and they wear like the warrior clothes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've seen them over in the Merck Park. I've interviewed them. So there seems to be a split between who are the real Israelites or even amongst the blacks.
No. We all one family.
But y'all fight amongst each other, though.
No,
what they don't like this. This said don't like that said and don't like that.
I would, child of God, I would like historical evidence. I would like archaeological evidence. I would like some kind of DNA evidence. Yes, real evidence, like real evidence. Not, you can't just say, never mind. And I'm gonna just say like this: we're gonna leave it here because we're going in circles. We're really going in circles. So yeah. I hear you. I hear you, Renee. I hear you say. Gregory says, we'll have to discover the truth ourselves. That may be the responsibility and the rights for the entails.
Well, go ahead.
It's just like any other family. Take, for instance, your blood family, right? You may have disagreements, but you're still going to love your family.
Say it again,
Basically,
my brother.
The Most High been waking us up so rapidly, right, to be Hebrew Israelites, get ready for the kingdom to come, that a lot of us are in different places. And it just takes time for everybody to get to the same place. And it's all going to happen by the power of the Most High in Christ, the higher B'Shem.
When will this take place? When will this happen?
Nobody knows the exact time, but we know that we are getting closer to the end.
If you are the true Israelites or the true Jews, why do you read from the Christian Bible?
This is not a Christian Bible. This is a Hebrew Israelite Bible. Moses was a Hebrew Israelite.
When you say it's not a Christian Bible, it's
Israelite.
not the Bible that you were reading. Is that a different Bible than you were reading as a Christian?
No, I don't believe Mansa Musa existed. There's historical evidence to show that Mansa Musa existed. There's historical evidence. Mansa Musa is not a fictional character. There's historical evidence that Mansa Musa existed. That is totally different from the belief in an inheritance to being the chosen people of a deity. That's two different things.
No, this is the King James Version Bible.
But that's the Christian Bible.
No,
They made
Christians brought us here on slave ships, right? You know that, right?
I guess so.
So everybody can be a Christian. Everybody can be a Christian. It's a religion.
Yeah, but you said he himself said, both of them said they converted. So, and with that same logic, if you can convert to being a Hebrew Israelite, can't anybody be a Hebrew Israelite with that same logic that he's using? Because both of them are converts. They self-confess converts.
We're talking about a bloodline.
So let me ask, prior to becoming a Jew, you had this emptiness inside, like something was missing, like a void, like something was wrong, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And so once you became a Jew, did that void?
So are you saying that Mansa Musa is the biblical Moses? Because you said Mansa Musa means King Moses. So are you saying that Mansa Musa is the biblical King Moses? I mean, that Mansa Musa is the biblical Moses? Because the name means Moses, you're saying that that means he is Moses? And if so, do you have proof that Mansa Musa is Moses, if that's what you're saying? If not, then okay.
Was that boy taken away from you? Will you fulfill completely?
It basically gave me the understanding, because I always wanted to know why we was hated so much. And we never did nothing to anybody.
Who hate you?
The other nations, the so-called Caucasians, the Japanese, the Chinese, everywhere we go, we hated. And I didn't understand why we was hated so much. But then when I read the Bible, it gave me the understanding and let me understand why our people were being hated so much.
When you, did becoming a Jew fulfill that void deep down in your soul?
Oh, it did.
So you don't have that void anymore?
Yeah, because now I have understanding, knowing that the reason why we in the situations that we're in is because we didn't serve our God the way we're supposed to.
Yeah.
Do you have that, was your void taken away too, your emptiness?
It was, absolutely. But we know that now that, like Malak was saying, that our forefathers were disobedient. So it's just like a parent and a child. If I do something wrong, my parent is going to discipline me.
Right.
So that's how we feel about the Most High God.
Do you have perfect peace?
I do. And within myself, knowing that I am the chosen.
How about you?
Yes.
You have perfect peace?
I have perfect peace.
At all times?
Yes, because I know I'm doing what the Most High God have commanded me to do.
When you say the so-called white or Caucasian, what do you mean by so-called? They don't really exist?
Because white is just a label that they get. That's not who they're called in the Bible.
So who are they?
In the Bible, they could be Japheth or they could be Esau.
Oh, that's a tribe?
Yeah, in the Bible.
So they shouldn't be called white people or Caucasians?
No, I didn't say that they couldn't. I just say so-called because I try to stick directly with what the Bible would say.
You see that white man over there by the camera?
Sure.
Doesn't he look like Jesus?
No.
He doesn't look like Jesus.
Well, Jesus
Jesse
is
being
Caesar
Jesse.
Borgia. So Caesar Borgia, yeah.
He does look like Jesus.
No,
we know. Huh?
no, the Christ that we know, he looked like me and you.
But the one you used to worship as a Christian, did he look like that?
I don't know.
If he didn't have
he
that
don't look like Caesar Borgia.
So I don't understand what's the purpose of getting into this kind of stuff.
Well,
how's that going to help anyone? Do you love white people?
I love everybody.
How about white people?
I love everybody.
No, just
Most High told me not to hate nobody.
Do you love white people?
I love everybody who love me.
How about white people?
Everybody.
Do you love white people?
Let me explain something to you.
I know, but answer that first.
Being a Hebrew Israelite is not a racist thing.
Right.
It's an awakening. It's an awakening that's taking place for you to get back what has been taken from you. It's not about us fighting amongst each other or anything like that. We know that we being oppressed by white people. We being oppressed by other nations, period. It ain't just them. We being oppressed by people who don't believe in the Most High, who don't want to keep commandments. So anybody that's unrighteous, and not saying all white people ain't righteous, I'm just saying anybody who's unrighteous, that's where we having an issue with.
So do you love white people?
I love everybody.
But I'm only asking about white people only.
I'm gonna keep saying everybody because I don't want to exclude nobody. So
how about you? You love white people?
I love like.
But I think so. The debater in me likes these conversations. The pragmatic Joseph don't like these conversations, but the debating Joseph like these conversations because I like to have these conversations. I like to learn. But I do think these conversations have to be grounded in evidence though. Belief always has its place, but things like this do have to be grounded in evidence, but also going back to I love, hey, RBG, don't take your foot off the pedal, my brother. Do not change course, right? Because what he keep getting into. All right, so my earlier question, okay, so if we are the true Hebrew Israelites, how does that empower us? Do we use that to organize? How do we use that to organize ourselves? How do we use that to create systems? How do we use that to create industries, infrastructure, to be able to better protect ourselves? All these different things. Got to be able to look at anything that we attach ourselves to. How does it help us, and how will it hurt us? Because even conversations like this with people who, and I'm not saying, and let me preface this before I make this statement, I'm not saying anybody on the stream anything like this, but I've watched so many of these debates and stuff. Once again, I like this stuff in my free time, and people get into their feelings about all of this stuff, and it's not just a intellectual debate. It goes into being something personal when people throwing personal jabs and all these things at other people and things like that. But they do have to be grounded in evidence. We do have to not just go off of what we believe or what we interpret that we've read, or these books and things, right? The Bible specifically. So yeah, we have to really look at what we're attaching ourselves to. Once again, I'm not telling nobody what to believe, what not to believe. If you want to be whatever religious path or spiritual path or theological path you want to take it. But I still think it goes back to, what Malcolm X said, we need to be black first. And everything else, you leave it at the door, we be black first. And whatever vehicle we're using, that vehicle need to be a vehicle of empowerment. Holla at your girl. I appreciate you once again. Let me make this so I can read. It says, I agree with you, but hey, well, like I said, this video is actually better than the other one that I was going to look at. I needed a video that wasn't too long, So we like to make fun of Jesse Lee Peterson over here. He's a fool. He's a fool. He lives on his knees for the white man, and he's a belly crawler. So we like to make fun of Jesse Lee Peterson over here. But I appreciate you once again for your support, my sister, my good friend. I
Look at
appreciate
all
you.
this money, homie. I got all this money, homie.
Says there's no genetic specific markers for any of the major Western religions. According to European history, the Hebrew Israelites were located in the Levant, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. Okay. Says it's way more than the Bible. Mansa Musa is proof that we knew about the Bible and had any affinity to it before any white man. I mean, nobody would argue that evidence or knowledge of Hebrew Israelites existed in Africa before any white man. I mean, nobody would argue that, but that still doesn't answer the question of, is that evidence to prove that black people in America are Hebrew Israelites? Because now the goalpost has moved so far to the left. You're not even on the central point of what evidence do we have to prove that black Americans are also Hebrew Israelites? It said it does answer the argument that the white man gave. Once again, we're just talking in circles. So I'm gonna continue the video. I appreciate you, but we're talking in circles and we're not getting nowhere.
We are not born to hate anyone.
Right.
So.
And do you love white people?
I love all people.
Do you love white people?
Are they considered people?
Well, they're the only group I'm asking about. Do you love white people?
Look, I have friends that are from the Caucasian race.
Do you love white people? The Caucasian.
Caucasian is white.
Right. Do you love them?
I love everybody.
That's
we answer. Yeah, we're answering the question. So.
And so what's the plan? Do you plan on moving back to Israel?
Well, what's going to happen is, according to the Bible, the Most High is going to. You want to get some scriptures on this?
Oh, yeah, but let me ask you this first. You said that white people and other people are oppressing black people, right?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah. You don't think you're under oppression right now?
In what way are they oppressing black people?
Okay. Well, first of all, probably like 70% of our people were in jail, right?
Right.
In prison. Gang activity and drug activity is set up by the government. If I wanted to go get a loan, right, in a bank or whatever, they will probably turn me down.
Why?
But other nations can come over here that don't even live here and get a loan off the bat. So you got to see that we are actually being held down as a nation. And this is a part of the curses of Deuteronomy 28, because he said that you will be oppressed and brought to a land that is not yours. And so we've been here. They said the first slave ship came here 1619, right? It's 2018. So we almost in a 400-year period, right? So we were supposed to be oppressed for almost 400 years. So we're approaching that time. Not saying that when we get to 400 years, that's when the Mashiach gonna come back, but we are approaching and we're getting closer to our curses being lifted off of us, because we've been held down for 400 years.
All right, so I hear I'm listening to what he's saying. So Gregor, are you saying that a region and a time frame has been identified for the people who lived in that region during that time frame? You're saying that has happened? Says it's the prophecies, the civilization is about to go down. Yeah, because I don't subscribe to white supremacy BS religion. They're pathetic, and those that follow.
Why wouldn't they let you have a loan at the bank? If you went to the bank and said, hey, I'd like to get a loan, they would say no to you?
Yeah,
I have tried to get a loan a couple of times, and I had all of the qualifications that they asked me for.
And they did
not. They made.
Okay, Gregory, can you send me that information, please? Yes. So I actually met Jane Elliott about 10 years ago. Jane Elliott came to Tallahassee. I'm in Tallahassee. She came to my city and did a lecture here in the city. So yeah, I've met her, and we do have videos about Jane Elliott. So and once again, thank you for your support. The actual ancient Israelite people originated in the late Bronze Age. The ancient Israelite people. Okay. So does that information, is any of that information connected to us here, us black people here in America? That would be my next question. Is there any evidence that connects any historical or biblical Hebrew Israelite to any Black American who were brought over here, or current Black American or Black American who've been over here since 1619, or any Black people throughout the diaspora? Yeah, Renee, look, see, you asking real questions, Renee. You asking real questions, Renee. You're asking real questions people ain't got answers for. You know what I'm saying?
Made me jump through a million hoops.
Right.
And then other people that I know that's not of the same ethnicity as myself, they can go in there and get a loan. I was about to pay him to go get a loan for me.
But so do they? So they didn't let you have it because you were black?
I believe that's the reason.
You believe the same thing?
We go through a lot of things with that. We are.
See, I got you, Gregory. I got you. I can accept that. I got you.
Eyes are open now to a lot of things we may not have saw before. So little things like that we recognize.
Is it possible that due to your anger toward them that you may be living in an illusion?
Who has
We don't
anger
have-
towards
yeah.
It
anyone?
has nothing to do with color.
We don't have any anger towards
we're
anyone.
not angry
All
people.
we trying to do?
Who are the angry people?
We're not angry
Oh, you
people.
two are not.
Yeah.
Oh, but everybody else in them.
No, I'm not saying everyone is. I'm just saying, that's a lot of the stereotypes we get.
So you don't think that
you
our
mentioned-
people is under oppression?
Not because of the white man.
Oh, you don't? Who ruling the world right
They
now?
are under oppression because they have hatred in their hearts. And that hatred in their hearts is what
Who got
holding them
hatred in
back.
their hearts?
Black people.
He said black people are under oppression because we have hate in our heart. So white people should be oppressed too. Actually all people should be oppressed. And if you listen to Jesse, the one of the messiest things about Jesse is first of all, Jesse talks about black people as if he's not black. And then he talks about black people as if our existence and our behavior is less than all other people, especially white people. Of course, he's a servant of white people, but this whole conversation is interesting because they can't really answer questions and provide real evidence. And Jesse is an asshole anyway. So yeah, it's like I said, it's entertaining, but it helps the conversation move along and not be boring. But we can still ask real questions in this.
You have hatred in your heart?
I had it, but it's gone now.
Okay, so
And it doesn't start with the white people. It starts with most black men and women hate their mothers and grandmothers. And because they won't forgive them, they're living in darkness. And in that darkness, they're living in illusion. And so they've been told by the enemies of good that it's the white man, when it's really they're hating their mothers and yearning for their fathers.
So
Have you ever heard of Stockholm Syndrome?
Yes.
You know what that is?
Yes.
What is it?
It's when Patty Davis was captured by the Black Panthers, and they tortured her, and she began to hate them. And once she began to hate them, she identified with them and started supporting them.
Okay.
And so you become attracted
So
to what you hate.
you talking like Patty Hearst right now?
How's that?
Because you loving the oppressor. Now, is our nation being oppressed right now?
No, not by white people.
Who are we getting oppressed by then?
Black people.
How? How?
I don't understand.
So,
How, Jesse? Stop
so
it,
I
Jesse.
do love all people. I love white people. I
But
love
you don't love
the
black people.
Jews. I love the blacks. But you can't say you love the whites.
Yes, I did. I said I love everybody.
No, everybody is not white. You said something else that I got to get to. You said that an example of being oppressed is that the blacks are in jail, they're committing violence, gang members and stuff like that. Do you blame white people for that?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
So I grew up under the Jim Crow laws.
It's not. It's
I
not.
remember,
it's not fully their fault.
I remember for colors only signs, for whites only signs, I was restricted to where I can live. But because we had fathers and mothers getting married, out of wedlock birth was an embarrassment. Abortion was unheard of. Blacks were taught to work and build. I had family members who owned land. Some of them never worked the plantation because they owned land and did their own thing. They were not going to jail. I didn't grow up with one person going to jail. No one around me was going to jail. If white people were oppressing and we were under the Jim Crow laws and they were causing black on black violence and incarceration, why didn't we see it then?
See, and stuff like this lets me know that Jesse Lee Peterson is leaning into this, or he can't read, because this is basically, he's saying that black incarceration rates during Jim Crow were significantly lower than what they are now, and we know that that's a lie, because they were locking black people up for nothing. Like I was looking earlier, they spiked like black incarceration rates during Jim Crow were like 4.8 times higher than whites. Like they were just snatching black people off the street for nothing back in Jim Crow. So, Jesse is a damn lie. But that's what makes this conversation interesting. It's like, I don't think either side really know what they talking about. Well, we know Jesse don't know what he talking about. And I'm learning about the other two. And from what I've listened, once again, either side don't really know what they talking about. So.
Instead of now, why did we see it then?
So you don't think that that's hatred?
No, but tell me why the question is, if it's the fault of the oppressor that blacks are in jail, why didn't we see it back then as opposed to now?
Why didn't we see it back in Jim Crow days?
Yes.
Actually, our people was more actually structured back
talking
in
about
those
black
days. They was fighting for their equal rights. They was more organized. They
That's funny.
But they were not organized.
Yeah, right
they
now.
They weren't even thinking
right
of being
now,
organized.
everybody is going
it's
for
not
self.
True. They were not organized at all. They were living. They were not identifying with preachers. They were not identifying with.
And Jesse loves to rewrite. What everybody in this clip is rewriting history. Everybody in this clip is interpreting what they want for their own narratives. If I'm gonna be honest, everybody in this clip. That's what makes this so interesting. Said the Spanish Inquisition during the Spanish explosion during the Inquisition. Everybody knows about the Moors in Spain, but they were kicked out. Black Jews who fled to West Africa. In fact, they are the most, white definitely are the most hateful people out here. We cannot expect truth from the easy available Eurocentric sources. We must conduct our own research. Jesse is an asshole. That's what Jesse is. Jesse is an asshole. Jesse chose to be like this for the white man. But overall, what we still are looking at is the brother and the sister on the couch. They have a specific ideology, specific programming themselves, because both of them are basically saying that when they were Christians, they chose not to follow the teachings of the Bible. But when they converted to Hebrew Israelite, they chose to follow the teachings of the Bible. And they believe that what is written in the Bible is prophesied about us who are here now, black people here now in America. But nobody have any real concrete proof.
Black politicians or anybody, they only got their identity from family, from God and from family. They had no leaders, and they were better off.
They became organized.
See, now this is what,
and that's a good point. They became organized.
This is why you need to understand about a Hebrew Israelite, because when everybody understands who they are and why things happen the way that they happen, then you will understand where you're going. You will understand what's taking place. You will understand that we need to move forward and do what we got to do for the Most High.
But why didn't we see incarceration and abortion and all that junk prior, during the Jim Crow era, as opposed to now when blacks are free? If it's the white man
well, you
fault,
know that abortion is being pushed by the government upon our black people.
I know, but the point is, when blacks were under those laws, why didn't we see incarceration and all that happening then, as opposed to now?
Well, right now, I think that they locking a lot more of us up. They have the 3-strike law, right? So you can get in trouble for one thing, and you can get 3 strikes off that one thing. So now our brothers and now the jails.
But you're not telling me why it wasn't out of control prior to the Jim Crow laws. Prior to overcoming the Jim Crow laws. Why didn't we see it then if it's the white man who is oppressing black people?
They did see it then.
You
don't think
didn't grow up
who was they
around
marching against?
Right,
Who was spraying us with water hoses?
That's oppression.
But it wasn't oppression. It was a wrong law that was put on by the government, Democratic Party, by the way, the government, and it wasn't oppressing us. We didn't feel oppressed. We saw the signs, but because we were free within and we
Did
believed
Martin Luther
in
King
God.
think he was getting oppressed?
No.
He
the only
didn't?
thing that Martin Luther King did and should have done and then dropped it was to fight to change the laws, and so that the same laws that govern and protect.
All right, they're all off the top, but I'm gonna stop here for the sake of time, because it's a school night. We can't be here all night like I would want to, but it's a school night. But one of my topics that I think is a very interesting topic to dive into. I appreciate all the commentary. I appreciate all the information. These are things that we have to dive into and really study. But I think we have to get past belief. We have to go beyond belief and get to, okay, where is evidence? I know that word scares a lot of people, but evidence is what would help us. We have to have real proof. Like you say you have definitive proof, scientific proof. I need that. How you doing, Black Marital Art Society? I need that. Please holler at me. I need that. I need definitive scientific proof. So, okay. I'm finna hold up here. My email. I'm finna put my email. All right. Put my email in the comments right now, so you can email me the proof. If we were nothing, nobody would care about us. I like I said, I hear you, child of God, but it has to go past belief. It still has to go to actual proof. So, because if not, we sitting here shooting in the wind, and we're gonna be here arguing in circles all day, and that don't get us nowhere. But also the second half of that, though, the second half of this is, say we are the true Hebrew Israelites. Say we are. Now what? Now what? Now what do we do with that information? How does that help us? How does that empower us? How does that improve our situation? Does that help us throw off the chains of white supremacy? If you know your past, then if you know where you went, then, oh, if you know where you've been, then you know where you're going. Okay, so where are we going? Has anybody defined where we're going? Has anybody mapped that out, where we're going? I know as Black people, I know we love nice sayings. We like the sayings that make us say, and the sayings that make us feel good and all these things, right? But at what point do we get past the sayings? Do we get past the feel good? And do we get to more of the evidence, more of the things that can really help us pinpoint out? But also, are we strong? Are we more of a powerful people identifying as Hebrew Israelites? Does that help us organize more? Does that help us build actual infrastructure? Does that help us build actual systems and things that we need to put ourselves in a position of power? I'm not saying it does. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm asking the question, put that on the table. It says, we do our thing knowing the force is with us. Yes, we know We are the next leaders on this planet. People will follow. It will give us faith to do our thing. If you study the entire Bible, anytime the Israelites kept the laws, they were on top of the world. When they broke them, they became slaves to their enemies, not working on Saturday. I hear y'all. I hear y'all. I hear y'all. But once again, or how not to say, but however, still looking for concrete proof, concrete evidence, because we have to go beyond belief and go into evidence. So if we are, there's a reason for the denial of our origin. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Says, yes, sir. If you look this up right now, world banks have switched to digital currency. This. Okay. I hear you. And so I'm gonna be looking for the information that you sent me, because I want to see actual proof of how these things work out for our modern day, and they really actually pertain to our modern day. Say, child of God confesses too many things, just like people who just so happen to come from a religious POV tend to. The laws are really just how the society runs. We live by the laws and structures. Commandments now, they're just not our laws. We have our own laws. What we're gonna see, we're gonna see. Once again, we're gonna table this topic and definitely come back to it in the future. I appreciate all y'all for joining me on this discussion. This was a good discussion. Of course, Jesse Lee Peterson, stupid, and the two people that was talking to him, they didn't really help the situation. But I will be looking out for the information that is sent to me. And once again, I appreciate everybody. Y'all already know tomorrow, 7 p.m. is our Wednesday night breakdown. And we're looking at the adultification of young Black children, not just by white society, but by Black families as well. So, yeah, I appreciate you all. Hold on, let me read these last couple comments. It says, we have to find one accord. Doesn't have to be white supremacy religion, just the way one accord, right? Saw some of those Hebrews march for that Nolan Wells boy, but what was the constructive result? Good question. People using you as a resource is not the same as people caring about you as a global people. The African as an understood basis of human existence is not proof positive of Hebrew ancestry. Hey, you know, have a blessed night. You have a blessed night too. Black Marital Art Society, Child of God, everybody, RBG Tech, Nemesis, Renee. Pimp Thought, that's a hell of a name. Pimp Thought, that is a hell of a name. But I appreciate you being here. Gregory Jones, I appreciate you being here. Everybody, who else was up in here? Let me make sure I catch can't forget about Holla at Your Girl. Holla at Your Girl. Thank you as always for your support. I appreciate you. To my man Terrell, my main man Terrell, I appreciate you. Eves, the Bowls, thank you. Seldom Seen, thank you. RBG Tech. Who else was up in here? Santiago Hernandez, appreciate you. I don't want to miss nobody since we ain't slammed tonight. My man DSB, as always, you a real one, DSB. Blissed, I appreciate you. Robert, my man Robert, I appreciate you. Yeah, and hey man, I love y'all. And once again, I see y'all tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here. We're looking at the adultification of young Black kids by Black families and white society. So y'all have a great night. Remember to be your best Black self. Go to bed tonight with the intention of being your best Black self, and wake up tomorrow with the intention of being your best Black self. And we'll be here tomorrow.